Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Astrologaster. We're starting on this screen here today because I thought you should get this song for Thomas Black as we move in here. When I press to continue the game, it starts immediately, so prepare yourself.
Praise him, praise be to the Lord. The Lord, Archbishop with gift, and thereby made the void unto us his eternal grace and favor. Praise him, praise be to the Lord, Archbishop with gift.
Of course, this is not Thomas Black, like I said. It's just they kind of look alike, but whatever. It's been about 48 hours since I played this game here, so gotta get back into it.
Good day,
And here we
Your
go.
Grace, and well met. Might I inquire whether Your Grace has made a decision regarding whether to give Thomas Blagg the bishopric of Salisbury?
Ah, yes, Dean Blagg. I had my chaplain look into what you told me regarding irregularities in Dean Blagg's stewardship of Rochester Cathedral. Methinks you said he was embezzling coin and pawning cathedral furnishings, did you not? Well, it seems you did speak true.
Oh, indeed?
Of course, I will make nothing of it, as I wish to avoid the scandal. I merely told Dean Blagg that I could not offer him the bishopric due to various episcopal and doctrinal constraints.
Of course. And what problem would Your Grace wish me to address this day?
Oh, 'tis a problem with my other deans. With each passing day there seems to be a new dean at the palace gates, come to petition me for this wretched bishopric of Salisbury. Presently, 'tis Owen Wood, the Dean of Armagh. Since he returned from Ireland, he talks of nothing else.
How tiresome for Your Grace.
Indeed. I have told Owen that I am giving his request careful consideration, but in my experience, this only delays a dean for so long. I do have to grant the occasional bishopric, or else my deans become restless.
Doubtless, Your Grace.
But after what I learned about Dean Blagg, I must take care to exercise caution. Hence, I would have you tell me anything you know. That is, anything the stars reveal about Owen Wood that would render him unsuitable to perform the role of bishop.
Then let us ask the stars. Is there any reason why the Most Reverend John Whitgift, the Archbishop of Canterbury, should not grant Owen Wood the bishopric of Salisbury?
Do we know Owen Wood? The name does not ring a bell. No Owens and no Woods here. Okay. What do we do? I could skim through. Did you not? Oh, here we go. I think, yeah, she mentioned Owen Wood. The queen did wish to know whether her lover Owen Wood, the Dean of Armagh, had included her in his will. I did advise the queen that Owen Wood would not die in Ireland, that he had no money to leave her. Right. So this is Thomas Black's wife, or ex-wife, whatever, lover, whatever. She is a lover of Owen Wood as well, and he is also a dean. He went to Ireland with that guy that we sent to Ireland, and we have learned that they failed. He came sneaking back. That guy, Robert Devereux, here, and needed to regain the Queen's favor. Yeah, they lost that whole thing in Ireland. Okay. But we don't know a lot about Dean Wood. He's married and he has a lover. And he's in Ireland. So here, let's see what the stars say about him. We have the House of Legacy with optimism and confusion. While Owen is uncertain about whether he will be offered the bishopric of Salisbury, he remains optimistic. Yes. House of God's Help. This represents a vain man, Owen Wood, and patient. Owen Wood is a vain but patient man who has God on his side. House of the Quirrent. This represents being impossible to please. John Whitgift is impossible to please. Probably not something you should tell this bishop. House of Ambitions. This advises a reversal of death. John Whitgift should bring Owen's dream of being a bishop to life. And here we have House and Relationships. Indicates creativity and adultery. When it comes to his relationship with women, Owen has a creative interpretation of the teachings of the Bible on the sin of adultery. Aha, see here we can tell him about his lover, basically. House of Marriage indicates betrayal. Owen Wood has betrayed his wife. House of Unborn Children. This indicates a unpredictable reversal in fortune. An unexpected problem may arise from concerning Owen Wood and some unborn children. Okay, you know what? We are seriously abusing our doctor's confidentiality in this game, but once again, we can speak true by just referring to something we know of another querent. And that'll score me some points with the bishop, so hell yeah.
I must advise against granting Owen Wood the bishopric, for the stars reveal that he has sinned most grievously.
Ah, verily? Grievously, you say?
I am afeard Dean Wood did commit the sin of adultery.
Ah, nothing else?
'Twas more than once, your grace.
Doubtless, doubtless. While I appreciate your most excellent discernment of this information from the stars, I must own that Dean Wood's extra-clerical activities are already well known to me. Why, even my own wife has had a tumble with the man.
Your grace, I am sorry.
Hold, Sarah. In truth, 'tis of no consequence to me. What occurs in Lambeth Palace bides in Lambeth Palace, as we like to say. But you are right to remind me of Dean Wood's indiscretions. For mayhap it be not wise to elevate Owen to such a public position as bishop. I do have the reputation of the church to consider.
Indeed, your grace.
I will tell Owen that while I had every intention of granting him the bishopric, my hands are now tied due to various episcopal and doctrinal constraints.
Very wise, your grace. And one more matter, if I may. Has your grace yet had the opportunity to consider the granting of my medical license?
Ah, yes, that. Once my chaplain has finished looking into the matter, I shall be giving it careful consideration. Good day.
Good day to you, Archbishop John Whitgift. The querent did wish to know whether he should grant Owen Wood the bishopric of Salisbury. I did advise the querent against granting Owen Wood the bishopric. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day, better than being mad at me for choosing the wrong one. Up to 75. Ashamed to disappoint Owen, but the church cannot tolerate scandal of this nature. We are not a Catholic church in Rome. Indeed.
Since blood left Alice in the lurch, for solution she does search. 'Tis true she's the bedded half the church, but blood left Alice in the lurch.
Maybe they are not married anymore, but she still has the same last name, and we haven't heard of a breach of their union in any way.
Good day, mistress. What brings you?
I am come about my lover who is lately returned from Ireland.
Ah, yea, and your current lover is, as I recall... Ah, yes, your lover at present is Owen Wood, the Reverend Dean of Armagh, is it not?
Aye.
And according to my notes, you were afeard he might die in battle.
Aye, but you were right. Owen did not die.
And yet you do not appear to be much pleased he is returned alive. Whatever is the matter, madam?
It is being said around the diocese that my lover, Owen Wood, is romantically entangled with 2 other women.
And who might these 2 other women be? Might one of them be his wife, or...?
Of course not. Do not jape with me, Forman. I did hear that one of the ladies Owen is seeing is Mistress Ways, while the other is a certain Anne Hayborn, with whom I am not yet acquainted. I do hear she is a very young and comely maiden, though mayhap a maiden no longer. I prithee, scribble one of those doodles of yours and tell me if this be true.
Madam, if you will but afford me some silence and calm, I will compose one of my doodles, as you so call my mathematically precise astronomical charts, and endeavour to answer your question. To wit, is Owen Wood, the Dean of Armagh, wooing other women?
They're making this easy for me. Of course he is. We just learned so. He's even banging the Archbishop's wife. Let's see what the stars have to say, though. House of the Associates. This represents a surprise reversal and a sexual reversal. Owen Wood, to everyone's great surprise, will abandon his wench-chasing ways. I believe it not to be so. House of Love and Romance. We have conflict, deception, and optimism. Owen Wood is deceiving Alex and wooing other women, but Alice may be optimistic, for his relationship with these women are marred by discord. Not something we know anything about. House of Ambitions, and this represents gentleness. Owen Wood aspires to bed sweet, gentle ladies. Well, who doesn't? House of Relationships, this represents romance. Owen Wood is conducting numerous romantic affairs. And House of God's Grace, this represents a mature man, Owen Wood. God is gracing Owen with maturity. And House of Foreign Countries, with intelligence and frugality. Owen Wood's time in Ireland has given him occasion to reflect intelligently upon the current state of his financial affairs. He has decided to curtail his profligate spending. Well, how would we know? I'm gonna go with B. We know this to be true. Let's see where that goes.
Alas, I am afeard your suspicions are well founded, madam, for the stars do indicate that Dean Wood has been paying court to several other ladies.
Fie! What a maid-fiddling maggot of a man is he! Be I not woman enough for him?
Well, indeed, my chart does seem to suggest that if he does seek intimacies further afield, 'tis owing to...
Pray, go on. 'Tis owing to what?
To a preference for sweet and gentle companionship of a more feminine nature.
Does he indeed? How very interesting. Nay, verily, fie upon Owen Wood. On my honour, he will very likely want some sweet and gentle treatment once I am finished with him.
Godspeed, Mistress Blagg.
Well, she didn't like that. Wow, should have guessed. The Querent did wish to know whether her lover Owen Wood, the Dean of Armagh, was wooing other women. I did confirm the Querent's fears, informing her that Owen Wood was romantically involved with other ladies. Methinks the Querent took my advice rather ill. It's not really advice, I'm just telling her what the stars say, you know. Well, she didn't like that. I shall call him a snatch-grabbing dog botherer of the lowest order, and a horse-fluffing whoreson if there be ink for it. Good on you, Alice. He returns.
God give you good even, your grace. I trust you were pleased with the previous counsel I gave you? The advice I gave against granting Owen Wood the bishopric of Salisbury.
Ah, yes, your counsel did indeed prove sound, for Dean Wood is now cods deep in scandal. The parish council has received numerous paternity suits, and 'tis said that scores of defiled wenches bethrong the gates of his deanery each morning, clutching suckling babes and demanding recourse. As for young Anne Hayborn, she has had her reputation ruined, and Dean Ways is barely speaking to his wife anymore.
On my word, how disgraceful.
Aye, indeed. If only Owen had the sense to exercise more discretion.
Yes, indeed, your grace.
The Bishop of London, for instance, manages his affairs very quietly. I might have been able to look the other way, but in this instance I could not let Owen's indiscretions pass. For a wretched local woman by the name of Mary Payne got wind of the scandal and stirred up a public fuss about it. Oh, the devil take the woman and her bacon-faced husband.
If I might venture an opinion, Your Grace, mayhap if we were to pay no heed to Mary Payne and her ilk, they would eventually tire of their animus and leave us all be. But is it upon such problems you come this day, or upon some other matter?
I am come about my health. I believe I do ail of something.
Then pray, describe your complaints to me, Your Grace.
Well, I am afflicted with pain in my back, and at times I find myself hard of breathing. Indeed, I feel I may have phlegm in my chest, and I do bear these odd-looking spots upon my body that will not mend.
If you will permit me to loosen your robes to examine you? I see. Methinks I have a notion of what ails you. Let me confirm it with a reading of the stars. What troubles Archbishop Whitgift?
Pain in neck. In back and backache, short-windedness, and spots. I don't know. Let's see what we can figure out from the stars then. Apparently Simon knows, but he doesn't want to tell me. Cancer, ruler of the chest. This indicates the illness will get worse before it gets better. John Whitgift is troubled by mattering in the breast. It causes chest pain, which is occasioned by corrupt phlegm, having gathered in the chest. Ruler of the skin. Chronic. Illness is chronic but intermittent. This suggests a severe imbalance of phlegm in the body. Suggests an addiction that may be reversed, and a severe imbalance of black bile in the body. John Whitgift is afflicted with knobs on the yard, and he sees oft associated with lechery and characterized by wart-like growths on the privy member. And then Scorpio, ruler of the reproductive system. This suggests a severe imbalance of yellow bile in the body. John Whitgift is suffering from the French pox, a venereal disease occasioned by lying with a pocky person. It is characterized by persistent sores on the arms and legs, short-windedness, and bodily aches. That does sound more like it's either that or knobs on the yard. Disease often associated with lechery and characterized by wart-like growth on the privy member. But he did not specify that it was on his privy member specifically. It's like on the body, and this one comes with short-windedness and bodily aches, which makes sense, and persistent sores on the arms and legs. I think this is the one. So, French pox. By lying with a pocky person. I don't know what that means, but probably a deceased person. Alright, let's see. We didn't know that he is also prone to sexual deviancy, whatever you might want to call it, Mr. Archbishop.
Your Grace, I know not how to put this delicately. You have the French pox. I am not sure how this is possible, as you're a man of the cloth. Indeed, mayhap I check the stars again.
No need. I did suspect as much.
Verily? How astute of you. The French pox can oft be difficult to cure, but in your case, it is not far advanced. This ointment of boar grease and mercury is to be applied to your entire body. It must be rubbed in vigorously to ensure the mercury is well absorbed into the skin. You may then expect to see the sores on your body start to heal within a matter of days.
I see. And, I imagine your manservant William will be giving me this treatment?
No, Your Grace. The grease is to be taken home with you and applied each night before bed for 9 days. Mayhap your chaplain could apply it to Your Grace's body.
Ah, yes, a fine idea. I thank you for this treatment, sir. Fare you well, Dr. Forman.
Before you leave, Your Grace, might I inquire again as to the possibility of you granting me a medical license? Your Grace did mention you would give it careful consideration.
Ah, yes, indeed I did I not? Have no fear, Dr. Forman. My chaplain is looking into it. Good day.
Well, he is about to give me a letter of recommendation, I think. And the current did present with complaints of backache, goddammit, short-windedness, and odd-looking spots. I did diagnose the French pox and prescribed bloodletting and an application of boar fat and mercury ointment to the queer's body. Methinks the queer is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. You forgot to mention the bloodletting, Mr. Simon, so don't write that in your medical journey. That's fraud, I think, if you forgot to tell the patient. Anyway. Hey! A letter of recommendations. Now we are up to 7 letters. And we only need 1 more to reach the 8, which we were told we would be required throughout the game. I don't know if we might be able to get the medical license in other ways. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Who knows? For now, let's see what the Archbishop says here. I do believe this doctor and I are beginning to develop something of an understanding. Very good.
Here comes Lord Devereux, ready to fight. Wide-eyed and restless, he's been up all night. He may not know much, but he knows that he's right. Never
Nice.
Ah, give ye good morrow, my lord. I trust your lordship is well this day.
Well? God's body, am I likely to be well? I have been languishing under lock and key while all England goes to ruin.
Ah, yes, I did hear something of your arrest. I take it your encounter with the Queen did not go as well as planned.
Nay, 'twas a disaster. I took the precaution of seeking an audience with Her Majesty just after dawn, to be sure I would find her alone. But when I entered her bedchamber, she let out such a blood-curdling scream it alerted the palace guards, who ran into the room and arrested me.
But you were imprisoned in your York House residence, were you not? The fact that you were placed under house arrest and not imprisoned in the Tower surely speaks to the Queen's fondness for you. I trust your time in confinement was not uncomfortable, at least.
Well, yes, my time away from the world and its trifling concerns did, in truth, prove useful. It afforded me time to reflect on larger questions, to take stock of my life and put recent events in perspective.
Ah, I see. And what resolution did this quiet period of sober reflection bring you? A closer relationship with God? Or perchance you are resolved to spend more time with your family?
What? Nay, I said my mind was turned to larger questions. To wit, am I destined for greater things? Am I chosen by God to rule a kingdom? For I must needs act. The realm is under threat from within. For why was I verily imprisoned? Was it merely to punish me for some trifling mistakes I made in Ireland? Nay, 'twas to separate me from the Queen.
Well, I imagine after discovering you in Her Majesty's bedchamber...
Do you not yet see? The Privy Council means to keep me away from Whitehall, lest I see how they have contrived to control and manipulate the Queen since I left for Ireland.
My lord! Are you saying the Queen is weak and no longer in control of her reign?
Aye, indeed. Something must be done about it. Well, man, do not just stand there.
Yes, of course, my lord. Let us see whether the stars may give you your answer. Is Robert Lord Devereux, Earl of Essex, destined to, rule England?
Now he is gonna make me help him with committing treason. Oh, we are so close to making him give us a letter of recommendation. I have to tell him what he needs to hear. Damn it. Well, the House of Wealth with Intelligence and Cooperation says Devereux should use his substantial wealth to cleverly ensure cooperation with his plans. In short, he should engage in bribery. House of the Querent, this represents authority and strength. Robert Devereux is a strong authoritative figure. House of Unborn Children, it indicates a violent reversal. The Queen's failure to produce an heir will have violent consequences. Sounds about right. That one he might like. Here we have the House of Ambitions. This warns of a death unless there is a change of course. If Devereux does not rein in his ambitions, he will die. House of Foreign Countries. This indicates ignorance. Robert Devereux suffers from geopolitical ignorance. A foreign sovereign is destined to ruin England. And the House of Legacy. This indicates a head turned by confusion. Devereux is deluded by his legacy. Okay, this is not what he wants to hear. Then, House of Secrets. This represents a woman, Queen Elizabeth. Devereux is secretly motivated by his feelings about the Queen and how he has been treated by her. And the House of Friendships. This advises constraint. Devereux would do well to limit the influence of his friends' advice upon him. This is the sensible choice. We are gonna go with A, and let's see. This is what I think will give us the most points immediately. Telling him he has a chance to become the King of England. Then we will get that letter of recommendation, and then maybe we will be executed for treason next week. But who knows?
The stars confirm your fears, my lord. Her Majesty's failure to provide an heir has created the conditions for much plotting and scheming, and her refusal thus far to name a successor has provided an opportunity for powerful forces who would seek to gain control of the throne. Indeed, the realm is in grave danger, and the stars suggest that you are a strong, wise leader, chosen by God to lead England, mayhap as Lord Protector of the realm?
By God's underlumps, 'tis true! Huzzah!
As to practical matters, the stars suggest you use your significant wealth to, ensure cooperation and procure the influence you will need to secure success in this endeavor.
Then I will rally my forces and make the necessary preparations. For England, for God, Queen, and country! Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Alright. The current did wish to know whether he is destined to rule England. I did advise the current that he was indeed destined to be great and wise ruler, and that he should use his wealth to ensure cooperation in his endeavor. Methinks the current is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Look at that, that's the final case in his history. I wonder why. We have received the 8th letter of recommendation. My claim to the throne may not be as strong as the Stuarts, or the Lennoxes, or the Greys, or the Yorks, but a pox on all their houses. God has chosen me.
Almighty God, redeem thy servant Father's track for thy eternal grace and mercy. His watches by his wife.
Thomas Black returns. He does look like a bishop.
Good day, Dean Blag. How now, good sir? I see you do ale of something.
I do ale of something, Forman. Forsooth, I fear I am very ill indeed, for I tremble day and night with fever, and my face does itch and prick with pain.
Verily, you do exhibit upon your nose and cheeks a rash of a most remarkable hue.
Before you do this reading for me, Forman, I must have your word that you will not speak of this to my wife, Alice. In truth, I have had her believe that I was set upon by an angry swarm of wasps that have lately been nesting in the north transept of the cathedral.
I do understand. A kind husband would naturally wish to shield his wife from any undue distress.
Ah, yea, that of course. And there be also the small matter of the promise I did make to restore the Blag family fortune before I died, and thus not leave my wife and children to live in penury when I am gone. If Mistress Blag were to think that I am gravely ill, it would provoke some awkwardness between us that I would rather wish to avoid.
Ah, I take it then that your finances are also in poor health.
Alas, they are. For as you accurately predicted, the Archbishop never did grant me the bishopric of Salisbury. It would seem his grace is content for me to remain in my current state of penury.
I see. Well, as to your wife, Alice, be not afeard, sir. We doctors take querent confidentiality most seriously. As Hippocrates did say, testa Apollinum medicum secreta. Among other things. Now, mayhap we proceed to consult the stars on the matter of your condition. With what disease is my querent Thomas Blagg troubled, and how may he be cured?
I didn't even catch. They didn't talk about his symptoms. Something about he looks like a bee. He's been stung by a beehive. Something like that. So something that gives spots on the body. Aries' rule of the face suggests a possibility of death. Blagg suffers from erysipelas, a severe skin disease of the face that is accompanied with pain and fever. It's obviously not this one, because his wife would then have noticed if it happened upon his face. So here we have Virgo, ruler of the digestive system, suggests a mild imbalance of blood. Blagg is troubled with evil digestion caused by overconsumption of strong drink. Nah. Answers. This suggests the condition is chronic but intermittent. This represents an imbalance of yellow bile and color in the body. Blagg suffers from bone shaw, being a knob-like growth rising on the shin. It could be the evil digestion if he's just like getting drunk every night because he's poor. Would also explain why he is poor, I suppose. Do we have anything in his medical history that suggests he is a drunkard? I mean, other than poor investments and such. Coitus post-consultatio. Oh, we can click on that for some reason. Not sure why. It turns into a little finger pointer. Huh. Finger cursor. Anyway. It must be this one, sure, right?
You have naught to worry over as it happens. The lump that does protrude from your shin may be painful and unsightly, but do not fret, sir, for 'tis not serious. You have what is known as a bone shaw, which does arise from the dryness and heat of a mild excess of choler. I advise you to take cold baths, and have your wife sprinkle the floor of the house each day with roses and violets.
A lump on my shin? What lump? I spoke of no lump. Fie, Dr. Forman. If I did wish to speak with one who pays no heed to what I say, I would go home and consult my wife.
Yes. I do see that I am mistaken. That which had the appearance of a lump was merely your stocking garter, which, seems to have slipped down from your knee. In truth, it is hard to see clearly in this dim winter light. I will have my manservant fetch another candle, and,
Do not trouble yourself, sirrah. I have not the patience to bide with you any longer.
But
I said good day to you, sir.
He said he pretended to be stung by a beehive. Well. The querent did present with a rash on his nose and cheeks. Oh, okay. And much bodily pain. Alright. It was the face one then. Wishing to know both its nature and its cure, I did diagnose a bone shaw. Methinks the querent took my advice most ill. Yeah, okay. The man's a fool, mayhap. I see probably licensed doctor next time. We already have his letter of recommendation, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's too bad, Thomas. I kind of like the guy. But anyway, such is life and the life of a doctor, I suppose. And such is also the ending of this episode. Thank you guys as always for watching. See you tomorrow. We must be getting towards the end of this series, I think, methinks. But it's probably a few episodes to go. So, for now, yeah, well, thank you for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.